Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've done a video. I've been to a couple of cons and was not quite able to get one in that time, but the cons were fun, and I got some new videos. I got some new movies, and this is going to be a slightly extended version of the one that I usually do because I've got more movies because it's been like 3 weeks. But let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Alright, so first up I've got a movie called Severance. It's a British horror comedy thing. It's about a group that goes on a corporate retreat to kind of a log cabin out in the woods, and they end up dying one by one. It's supposed to be pretty funny. I remember seeing it and not being too big on it, but it just keeps popping up, and I'm like, maybe I need to give it another try. So I decided I would, and I picked it up. Severance. One thing that kind of draws my attention a little bit here is that it's got the movie gallery sticker on it. Like, it says $14.99 movie gallery, and then it's got the little barcode down here. And it's an interesting thing because I keep going to these secondhand stores, and it seems as though they've bought out the product from an old video store, and I've always wondered how that works. Like, I want to be able to bulk buy what's left over from a closed down video store. I don't know. That seems interesting to me. Anyways, up next we have Vampire Diary. Not to be confused with The Vampire Diaries, which is a schmarmy TV show as far as I can recall. And I bought it because it has a goth vampire chick on the cover. And well, you know, I've got a thing for goth women, and, goth vampire chicks sound fun. So I picked it up. It looks pretty fun. It's kind of a documentary that involves the goth vampire chick. So what are you gonna do? Sounds like fun. The Vampire Diary. Up next we have Halloween Resurrection. From what I've heard, arguably the worst Halloween movie, but it completes my collection. I now have all of them. So I get to watch Busta Rhymes do his thing with Michael Myers, and, I couldn't be happier about it. Whatever, I actually don't care, but I have not seen this one, and I did not own it, and I'm kind of a completionist, and so I was like, let's do it. I picked it up, Halloween Resurrection. Can't be worse than some of the other crap I watch, right? Up next we have The Church. This is a movie by Dario Argento, the Italian horror master behind Suspiria and other such fare. This one is about demon possession around a church, in and around a church. And, it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. I like Dario Argento, and I want to experience more of his films, so pick this one up, The Church, and on we go. I brought up a huge pile of movies, so I don't have to keep doing that. Next up is a personal favorite of mine, and that is He-Man's Masters of the Universe, the live-action He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. If you've not seen this movie, you really should. There is like a magical key that goes between dimensions, and so He-Man comes to like downtown Chicago or New York or something, and it's silly. The whole movie is ridiculously silly, but it is like action-packed, amazing stuff, and it's He-Man. It's fun. So, Masters of the Universe. Hopefully you've seen that. If not, whatever. Right, next up, we have Breeders. Now, in the minute 56 of this trailer, I saw more boobs than I have in certain movies that I was hoping to see boobs in. So that makes me happy. This appears to be in the lieu of, like, Species or Decoy. It's kind of an aliens breeding with our women movie. And it's from 1986, so it's 80s horrific, and I am looking forward to it. Once again, Video World. This is like probably like a mom and pop shop they're buying it out of. But, got Breeders. That looks like it could be fun. Next we have Bloody Mallory. Obviously my co-host is named Mallory, and I like bloody women. That doesn't actually have anything to do with the movie as far as I can tell. It looks like kind of a Buffy spin-off where everybody has like red or green hair, and there's lots of crazy action, and like she works for the church, she's fighting off like these demon people. It should be interesting. It looked like fun. Kind of mindless action. Bloody Mallory. Next we have Tremels 2, the long-awaited sequel. Actually, I don't know if it was long-awaited. It might have been like 2 days later. These are like, I always felt like these are the Sci-Fi Channel movies of the day. However, so much better than Sci-Fi Channel movies these days. The sequel here, the worms come up on land and they adapt, and they become these land-bound bipedal creatures that can see through heat, I believe. And it makes it scary as hell. But the guys blow the Tremors the fuck away, or the graboids. And it's a good time. Tremors 2. Innocent Blood. Now this was an interesting vampire movie from my youth. The vampires are very kind of feral-like. You know, when it comes time to feed, it's not about, oh, my two little things come out. They get like a mouthful of just like sharp teeth and they bite down. And the main vampire is a lady, and she tries to take out like bad people, like the mob or criminals and stuff. That's kind of what she likes to eat. But she does not completely kill one, and so this mob boss becomes a vampire, and he's like recruiting cronies, and they gotta fight him. Also, a nice little 80s film, I think. It might actually be 90s. But it's it's 92. It's somewhere in that area. It's a good time. I remember liking it. I picked it up. I'm going to watch it again. And hopefully it's as good as I remember. Next up, I've got an Insta collection. Prom Night 2. This looks to be like a fun 80s slasher film, the sequel to the original Prom Night. It looks much more campy than the original Prom Night, so that makes me happy because I so far have thought the original Prom Night was kind of slow. But here we have a sequel, Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou. It looked good in the previews, so we'll see how that goes. And going off that theme, I also have Prom Night 3, The Last Kiss, and Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil, in a double pack here. And I like how in the 80s they make like sequel after sequel of these movies, and it's not exactly like the Saw movies, because the Saw movies try to do the same thing over and over again. In the 80s when they made sequels, sometimes they try to do the same things, sometimes they do completely different things, but it's just, I don't know, I always thought they were better, and I'm a bit of a completionist, and so I have like a 4 prom night movie thing going here, much like Halloween. I've got 3 freaking sequels to see that I didn't even know existed, so that's fun. Interesting little like art film, Enter the Void. It has a lot to do with strippers, there's crazy lighting. Makes me think kind of like Train Spotting or something. It's trippy like that. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm really psyched to. So I picked that up. Enter the Void. That's an independent film channel movie. Love those guys. Next up we have Phantasm. I got this in Atlanta. I was really happy to get a copy of it because I've been meaning to see it forever, and now I've had a chance. So I watched it. It's pretty good. It's not what I was expecting. There's a tall man, he's like an alien. There's a cool little flying ball that they don't really explain that much in this movie. Maybe they do more in the sequels, but it's a neat effect anyways. And if you have not seen it, definitely check it out. That's Phantasm. Next up we have The Toxic Avenger, the Japanese cut. Now, I mostly just like the whole Japanesed out artwork. This version has an extra 6 minutes, which I bought because I absolutely needed those extra 6 minutes, so this is now my 4th or 5th copy of The Toxic Avenger. But it's worth it. I love the Toxic Avenger. Got him tattooed on my leg, and I love supporting Troma. So, the Toxic Avenger Japanese edition from Troma, what can I say? It's Toxie. Gotta love him. Up next, I have a 4-pack. This includes a movie called Cyclone, a movie called Alienator, The Ultimate Terminator, a movie called Eye of the Tiger, and a movie called Exterminator 2. Now, these are all like kind of grindhousey action type flicks. Cyclone I have watched, and it has Jeffrey Combs tricking out a motorcycle to be like military grade. He puts rocket launchers and all kinds of crap on it, and there's like a special hydrogen sucking power source that will give infinite energy, and so the government is out to get it, and his girlfriend has to avenge his death and like save the motorcycle. It's a good time. The rest of these look to be as awesome. Alienator has this pimped out alien guy wearing a bra coming to Earth trying to find an escaped alien prisoner and fucking up shit in the way. Then we've got Gary Busey in Eye of the Tiger, and this is about a guy who comes back to his hometown and finds that everything is corrupt. And everybody's like, oh, leave it alone, man, you're not going to win. And he's like, screw that, we're fighting it. And it's like one of those type of deals. The Exterminator 2, I'm sad that they don't have Exterminator 1 on here, but it's a guy killing guys, bad guys, of course, with a flamethrower. It also looks like campy good times. So I've only watched the 1, but I'm excited to watch the other 3. These all look awesome. That's Cyclone, Alienator, Eye of the Tiger, and Exterminator 2. This one was recently given to me by a friend, and it's amazing. It's called Life and Death of The Life and Death of a Porno Gang. It's about this guy who decides he wants to make a performance theater for porn. And when they get kicked out of town for trying to do that, they take it on the road as like a variety act for, public sex. And it's interesting, but it's also very offensive. There's bestiality, there's gay sex, there's straight sex, all done live and in person. And it pisses a lot of people off. They don't get treated very well where they're going. And they face some pretty nasty stuff, and then they end up doing some pretty nasty stuff. And it all ends kind of fucked up, as it's like to do. It's really a great movie. It's made in Serbia, I believe, and it's in Serbian, so you have to, there's subtitles, so be warned about that. But also be warned that there is some bestiality in the film. There's rape, there's murder, and there's all kinds of like twisted weird things. And if you're easily offended, this movie is not for you. But if you're not, it is a great film, and it's worth checking out. And that's The Life and Death of a Porno Gang. Thank you, Jason, for that. Up next, I have Spring Breakers. A lot of people don't like this movie. I loved it. I liked seeing the little Disney girls growing up and becoming kind of whores. I'm a sick bastard. I like that. It's got Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens. They were like the little Disney Channel girls, and they all got really pissy when they grew up, as is happening with Miley Cyrus right now, but that's nothing. But the keystone of this movie is the gangsta'd out James Franco. He's got the cornrows, he's got like the platinumed out teeth, and he's a gangsta, and he's like, he bails them out of jail, and they do gangsta stuff together, and it's amazing. This movie will change your life. Or it won't, and you're going to hate me. But either way, Spring Breakers, I'd say it's worth a watch. Now, this next one I'm very excited about. I had kind of passed it over when it was theaters, but now that it's out, I keep hearing that it's amazing, and I was like, it's just... First of all, it's Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage, and I just keep feeling like, oh, well, that sounds like Gone in 60 Seconds again, or Fast and the Furious, whatever. But it turns out Nicolas Cage is somebody who escaped from hell to save his daughter from getting killed by the same people that killed him and his wife, I guess. and he's fighting like some fucked up gangstas. He's got the devil's second-hand man trying to find him, and it looks amazing. There's explosions, there's car chases, there's amazing guns, and then there's Nicolas Cage, the master actor himself. And I really am so excited to watch this movie. Drive Angry. I hope it lives up to the hype. Now, last but not least, we have Death Note. Now, if you're not familiar with Death Note, it is based on a Japanese animation series. And it's about this guy who finds a book, it says it's a Death Note, and he finds out that if you write somebody's name in the book, they die. And there's a little kind of like demon or angel or something guy that like hangs around the book and thus hangs around him. And he's a little twisted guy, I don't know. I watched a little bit of the anime and I thought it was interesting, and this is the live action version and I find that interesting. And I've actually got Death Note 2 and 3. So I finally have the first one and now I can start watching them. So that's Death Note. Alright, this is actually my second time trying to make this video. The last one was all blurry, so if I went a little bit fast, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of doing this for a second time. And, the last one was really long, and I wanted to cut it down a bit. Now, thank you guys for watching this. It's been a long haul. I want to talk about one last thing real quick, and that is this amazing shirt right here. It's for a movie called A Time to Kill. Now, this nice young lady here on the cover, she's the lead character, and she is the wife of the director, Brian Williams. She's also a once upon a time Tromette, and she still plays the Tromette part at the Troma booths at cons often enough. I saw the preview for this movie, and that's all there is right now, actually. He's making it as we speak. And I saw the preview at Horror Hound Cincinnati, and I thought it looked fucking amazing. Like, it is like a Grindhouse trailer, like nobody's business. It's like the Grindhouse movies from Quentin Tarantino, or Father's Day, or Hobo with a Shotgun. It looks like it's in that vein, and it's very exciting. And it's a local project, and the guy, Brian, he's awesome. So, I'll probably put a trailer for that in the liner notes. But you should check it out. Time to Kill. I think it's on Facebook. It's Mostly Harmless Pictures, or Productions, or Films. Search Mostly Harmless Movies, and you might find it. Or search for Brian Williams. Good stuff. Support him if you can. I'm excited to see what he does. And thanks for watching this video. I know it's been a while. I hope to get back to these on a more regular basis now that the cons are over. But for now, that's it for Mike's Movie Roundup, Friday the 13th edition. So you go out there and you watch yourself some horror movies, guys. Thanks.